If you're running an Instagram theme page or thinking about starting one and you just want to get more views and engagement on your content and overall more followers on your page, you're going to want to see this. I've helped over 40 theme page owners grow over 100,000 followers, and I've also done the same on multiple of my own pages. And you could check my highlights on Instagram if you want to see for yourself. I have all these results documented. And essentially at this point, I've seen enough successful pages to know what works and what doesn't work. And just the other day, I put up an Instagram story asking my viewers to drop the names of their theme pages to have the chance to get them reviewed in depth by me here on YouTube. And now I have a list of 5 pages to go through. Exactly 212 of you dropped the name of your theme page, and as much as I'd love to give feedback to all of you, for obvious reasons, I'm not able to do that. I just wanted to keep this video short, sweet, and straight to the point. So chances are your theme page isn't going to be reviewed today, but still pay really close attention because I guarantee almost all the feedback that I'll be giving will apply to you as well. And for those who may not know me yet, my name is Pasha. I'm 21 years old. I'm from California, and I've been in the Instagram theme page industry for 3 years now. And you can see my personal brand here on the screen. If you guys want to take a look for yourself, I post some pretty good value on there. But aside from that, without wasting any time, let's get straight into it. All right, so as I said earlier, I've got 5 theme pages pulled up, ready to go ahead and review for you guys. But before I dive straight into that, I first wanted to give you some context on the criteria by which I'll be giving this viral feedback, right? That way, as I'm going over the pages, as I'm pointing things out, as I'm giving feedback, as I'm making, let's say, suggestions, you can sort of see where I'm coming from and where I'm even basing this feedback off of in the first place, right? So as you see on the diagram on the screen, when it comes to growing on Instagram, it really comes down to 2 main variables here, 2 main pillars. Firstly is the content, which is responsible for generating the views, generating the attention, right? So like literally the content that you're posting onto your page, as well as your profile, right? So this is responsible for converting the views, converting the attention that you're getting on your page into actual followers. So these are the really the 2 main pillars that it comes down to when it comes to growing on Instagram, right? And you need to have both. Like if you have your content on lock, it's good, you're getting views, but your profile's lacking, you're not really going to be converting many of those viewers into followers, which means it's going to make it a lot tougher and slower for you to grow, right? This is why even maybe you watching this, you might be getting lots of views on your content, perhaps, but that's why your followers aren't going up, potentially because your profile is lacking, right? And same with your profile. If you have a strong profile, but your content is lacking, like yes, you might be converting the views that you're getting from your content, but if you're not getting that many views in the first place, then it's still going to be slow growth for you, right? So that's why both of these pillars are really important to have in check, right? To have locked down. So this is essentially the criteria by which I will be giving reviews and feedback on these pages that I'll be going over. This is really the main, let's say, variables that constitute towards growing on Instagram. You might hear other people, other gurus or whatever saying, oh yeah, posting time really matters, or you got to use X, Y, and Z hashtags or else you're not going to grow. That's the algorithm hack. I'm not saying those things aren't important, they are to a small degree, but that's not really going to be the make or break as to why you're growing or not. It's not because your posting time is wrong. It's not because you're not using the right hashtags. It goes a lot deeper than that, right? That's like a symptom. It's not the root of the issue. The root is coming down to your content and your profile, right? So this is really the stuff that matters when it comes to growing. So that's where I'll be coming from when it comes to giving these reviews, right? This is what I'm basing it off of. So yeah, just wanted to give you guys some context first and foremost before we go ahead and dive into these reviews. And without further ado, let's get straight into the first page. All right, so I've got the first page pulled up here on the screen, as you guys can see. So let's get straight into the review. So as I said earlier, the criteria by which I'll be giving this feedback is on the content and the profile. So let's first go over the profile. What I mean by that, just so you guys are clear, is more of the branding, right? The surface level look of the page, the username, the logo, the bio, sort of those details. That's what constitutes to the profile. So going ahead, looking at this guy's page, we could look at the username first, motivation_HQX. It's not a bad username, but it's just not optimal, right? It's not ideal because one, it has an underscore here at the end, and also HQX, I don't really know what that means. Maybe I'm missing something, but it's not ideal. So when it comes to the username, just so you guys know, you want to keep it short, sweet, easy to remember. Ideally have it roll off the tongue. That's a little bonus. But also, importantly, you want to try and avoid having any numbers, underscores, or periods in the username, right? Because this, you want to keep your username original. You want to keep it clean and well branded. And when you have periods, underscores, or numbers in it, it just makes it a little unprofessional. Not saying it's impossible to grow and succeed with a page that has, you know, numbers and underscores, like I'm sure you've seen them out there, but just ideally try not to have it. Okay, it's best not to have it. And then the logo seems pretty decent in my opinion. You know, it's bold, simplistic, minimalistic. He's not overcomplicating it, so I think the logo is pretty decent. The SEO name looks decent as well, inspiration, mindset, success. You don't need to overthink this, you just need to pick 3 keywords in your niche. And then also the bio. This is what I think needs the most work. Here is the main adjustments that I'd give to the bio, right? Because the bio is really, really important. Like this is one of the first impressions that, you know, viewers get when they click on your page, right? To see what it's all about and whether they should follow it or not. So you need to make a good first impression. You need to give the viewer an idea of what they can expect and what value they're gonna get when they follow your page. So power reels to shift your thinking, like it's not bad, but it's also very vague. It's very general. Like you could put this on like any sort of mindset page. So it's not really emphasizing how he's different or what unique value he'll be giving to the viewer by them following the page. You know what I mean? Wake up, lock in, level up. This doesn't add any value. And just psychologically, it doesn't give the viewer any motivator to want to follow the page, just having this here. So it's just fluff. You don't want to have any fluff in your bio. Also, join XQX, don't satisfy the average. Again, I don't know what that means. Don't satisfy the average. So I changed that. And also join the Rise link below. First off, I don't know what join the Rise means. And link below, the link doesn't even work. So at the bottom, especially with this guy's page, he only has 241 followers. His last line in the bio should be a CTA to follow the page, right? So like follow for XYZ, or, you know, an arrow pointing down saying like join for XYZ or become a part of the tribe XYZ, you know what I mean? It needs to be a CTA as why they should follow the page, because this is just a little detail that increases viewer to follower conversion a bit more, right? So that's something that I'd change, and also I'd change these lines as well. Just not optimal. It's vague. It's either vague, unnecessary, or doesn't make sense. So that's not what you want to represent your brand, especially in the bio, okay? So that is the main, let's say, feedback I'd give for the profile in terms of how he can improve. And then the highlight covers, these are decent. There's really no need to change these, it's fine. So now let's go straight into the content, all right? So yeah, as you guys can see, he's not getting that much engagement or views on his content, which isn't ideal, right? And he's had 74 posts so far and he's still not getting really anything. So yeah, there's clearly a problem here. Let's take a look.
Success is this, and training and struggling and suffer and sacrifice.
I hope every one of you behind the screens on this arena.
I think whenever we're going through a hard time, we just want to.
Okay, so let me point out the first problem here. So what he's doing is he has like this little template, right? This is called the template reel style, where he has like his, you know, the Twitter sort of format here at the top with his username and logo, even though he must have changed his logo recently. And then he has like a little caption here, and then he has the person speaking, which there's no need to include this on the reel, by the way. You don't need to have this here. He needs to remove that. If anything, he could just put it in the caption, like a little bit below here. And also, he's using other people's clips and just like sort of plugging it into his own template, which is not good, you know, because now he's not going to be able to have any like consistent branding, right? Because you could see the the font and the size of it here and the placement of it here versus here is different. You know, this one's lower. This is a different font. This is a different like, you know, style. Same with this one.
Success is this.
Like this one has like some animation to it. It's a different font. So there's no branding. There's no consistency among the branding, which isn't good. That's one thing. And two, it's not even his own content, right? You need to post original content. So he's sort of shortcutting it and taking other people's content and just putting it in his own template. Like that's not going to work, right? You can't be doing that. And also his overall style of the template is just not ideal. Like this doesn't look clean. Like this, let's say this text doesn't look clean. Like I said, you shouldn't be having this here. And also this is not bad to have, but if anything, he should move it a little bit low so there's not, or lower so there's not so much black space in between. So just, there's little details in the content that just looks unprofessional. It looks not clean and not high quality. So yeah, just to sort of summarize the feedback. First off, the clips that he needs to be using, he needs to make it original content. He needs to find these clips on YouTube by himself, which is really easy to do, by the way. You just, you know, find the original video, clip it up, you know, put it into your, what's it called? Your editing software and then just do auto captions. Like it's very, very simple. It's really, really easy. And although it might take like a little tiny bit more time, it allows you to have professional, well-branded, consistent content on your page, which is really important, all right? So that's the first thing, the clips, and then also just the setup of the template doesn't look clean. You know, this is too high up. The font also isn't correct for this sort of style. Give more, get more. Like this isn't a good hook. This doesn't incentivize the viewer to want to stay longer. And also he doesn't need to have the name of the speaker here on the screen. Like I said, he could just put it in the caption if he wants. So that is some, let's say, feedback that I'd give. If you guys want to see, so this is an example of like what not to do for this template reel style. If you want to see what to do, I've pulled up a few pages here as well. This is one of my clients. His name is Prince. And if you go ahead, let's just take a look at like one of his viral videos recently, let's say 2.4 million, or I don't know, maybe 3.8 million.
555 deal's really popular. Mr. Trump, here you go, 3 medium pizzas, $5 each.
So you guys can see that the little hook at the top is a lot cleaner. Like the font looks clean, you know, there's a little color in there, and it's actually a good hook that makes the viewer want to watch the video to figure out what it's about. And also, if you guys look through his content, it's very clean, it's very aesthetic, like the template looks nice, you know?
May I help you? You're still
Like it's well-branded content, you know, the text is always in the same spot, the font is the same with the subtitles on the video. It's always in the middle of the screen. It always has the same font. He has this little watermark here on the screen as well. That's always in the same place. All right, so you can clearly see the difference between like this content as well as, or compared to this one, right? This is just a lot more clean. Yeah, just to sort of summarize, he could take into the account the profile recommendations that I made for him. I would change the username. You know, he's small enough to the point where it doesn't really matter. You know, he still has the freedom to change it. Also, I'd change up the bio, just make it more clear, emphasizing what value the viewer will get from following the page, and also making a clear CTA to follow as well. And then in terms of the content, yeah, what he needs to do is start, like he doesn't even have captions on this one. Like that can't be the case. He needs to like sharpen up this content style, make everything look more clean, more consistent, especially with the clips, and that's how he can improve. All right. So yeah, that is the viral feedback that I have for the first page. Let's go ahead and dive straight into the second page. All right, we've got the next page pulled up on the screen here. This page is called Mindset Craft. So yeah, same as last time. Let's go over the profile and then let's go over the content and give feedback along the way. All right. So first up with the username, it's actually quite good. Mindset Craft. It's simple. It's straight to the point. It's easy to remember. It rolls off the tongue. Again, the only thing that's not ideal, not optimal, is that it has the period in between. But at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world, right? It's still fine. So the name is fine. The logo is fine as well. It's bold, simplistic, minimalistic. He's not overdoing it. You know, it's clean. I like it. And yeah, let's see, SEO name. This is good. The only thing that I would do is remove one of these. So you see how he has like 4 keywords, including his username, and they're separated by lines. It's ideal to have 3, right? So he could either remove Mindset Craft and keep, you know, the rest of the 3, or he could keep this one as the first one, which is pretty common and an acceptable way to have your SEO name structured, and then just remove, you know, one of these 3, the one that least resonates with his niche. So yeah, that's the feedback on the SEO name. And then in terms of the bio, top-notch content, crafting the mind for long-term success. Join us on this journey if you want to succeed. Okay, so this is better than the last bio that we went over, but still has some improvements that need to be made. Especially this first line, top-notch content. Like, is that really the best you could do? Like in the bio, you're trying to psychologically persuade your viewers as to why they should follow your page. And the best you could come up with is top-notch content. Yeah, that's not ideal. Like I said with the last review, you know, you need to give your audience, you need to give your viewers a reason as to why they should follow your page, right? You need to emphasize the value of your page, what benefits that they would get, what value they would get from following your page, right? So this second line is actually quite good. Crafting the mind for long-term success, right? I really like this line as well because it actually sort of integrates with his username, right? Mindset Craft, so it's like Mindset Craft, so he's crafting his mindset. And then in this line it says crafting the mind for long-term success. Like, you see how this is so much better? This actually gives the viewer an expectation of what they could get from the page. Like, oh, the viewer's like psychologically, subconsciously, they read that line, they're thinking, okay, by following this page, I'll be able to get a better mindset to make me succeed long term, right? So that's a better line, right? And then also this one here, join us on this journey if you want to succeed. It's good that it's like a CTA to follow the page, but it's not executed properly. If you want to succeed, you know, it's a good benefit, but it's very vague, very general, as I was saying earlier. So I would give like a more tangible benefit, more tangible value they would get from following the page or joining you on the journey, right? So that's another adjustment that I would make, and then especially this first line needs the most work done. You just need to emphasize what your page is all about, right? Like this is someone's first time clicking on your page. Like they need to know what it's going to be all about, what they can expect, what value they're going to get, right? So something similar to this would be ideal, right? Obviously not the same, something different, but something along those lines of just demonstrating value, okay? And then last but not least here, the highlight covers. I would, like they're not bad, but I would just match them with the profile, right? Because the profile is white with like a blue icon. I would do the same thing here, right? White background with the same color blue icon rather than what he has here, right? That would just make it look more clean, more professional, more aesthetic. All right, so that is the profile, let's say, feedback. And then in terms of the profile as well, another element of it is the reel covers. And his reel covers actually look kind of clean. I don't know why he doesn't have it on some of them, like this one, and this one. But like on these ones, it looks pretty clean. It looks pretty clean, right? He's got it sort of like fade in. It's got the person's face on it, and it's got like the well-branded sort of look. So yeah, the reel covers look clean. So let's click through the content.
I can't control what the world thinks or what people think, and I thought that I could. I thought that I could do everything to show you that I'm a good guy, nice guy. I'm trying to do that because that's naturally what you are, who you are. And you want people to know that. One thing that I do not need is the idea or understanding that everybody loves.
Yeah, that one was really, really bad.
I was reading a passage recently where a character was asking, which is more important, the journey or the destination?
So I see what he's trying to do. You know, he's getting really fancy, very sort of creative with the editing, but it's a little choppy. You know, you could tell that he's got to improve a little bit on it to make it like more clean, more, let's just say, more smooth in terms of the edit. But like this one, for example, this one was really bad, right? So let me just point out what's going through my mind. So first off, the captions should be in like the middle of the screen, right? So he should sort of like move Kevin Hart a little bit lower to where his, you know, sort of his face is more central and the captions are around on his chin, right? So just like moving this a little bit more down. That's the first thing. And I don't know why he has this little watermark in the corner and it moves throughout the video. Yeah, I don't know why it has that. And then also, as you see,
I thought that I could do everything to show you that.
The overlays that are coming out in the background of this reel is so random. Like this was an astronaut first. Now this is some guy spiking a volleyball.
I'm a good guy, nice guy, trying to do that.
And now this is Mel Robbins going to hug some random person.
You are who you are. You want people to know that.
And now it's John Morant. It's so random. It's all over the place, right? It has no common theme. You know what I mean? Like, why is there just random background clips? That's not how you get a viral video and attract a good audience. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know why that one was so bad.
I want everything to be perfect before something happens. That's how I am.
Yeah, he needs to work on the clips that he's putting in the background because they're not good and they're not aligning with like what he's saying. And again, he needs to make sure his captions are in the middle of the screen and they're covering his mouth, which is not ideal. Also guys, what I'm noticing when going through this content is that it's very general, you know what I mean? There's no specific sub-niche or category that these people fall into place, right? Like this is LeBron, this is an athlete, this is Jay Sherma, he's like a podcaster, motivational speaker. Chris Williamson, he's like a podcaster. Kevin Hart, he's a comedian / actor. Theo Vaughn, he's a podcaster. You know, athlete, podcaster, celebrity, artist, astronaut, physicist. Like there's no commonality, there's no theme by which these people come into like in align with, right? And let me tell you why that's a problem, right? Because this is so general. It's gonna be harder for this guy to stand out if he has no specific, like if he's not trying to attract a specific type of audience, right? Because right now he's going through the umbrella niche of just mindset and motivation, right? And it's gonna be a lot harder to stand out and grow a page that way because you're so general. You're blending in with the ocean of all the other pages. I'm not saying it's impossible to grow like that, but it makes it a lot more difficult, right? Instead, what this guy should do is pick a sub-niche, right? So pick only athletes, or pick only podcasters, or pick only actors or celebrities, or pick only, you know, Bob Proctor, like this guy is someone who talks about like the law of attraction and, you know, mindset more specifically. You know what I mean? This is an author. It's all over the place. He needs to find a more specific sub-niche and only post those types of people, because that's going to allow him to stand out a lot better and differentiate himself and distinguish himself from all the other pages out there just posting general content, all right? So that's a nice little, like, let's say, hack for you guys is sub-niche, especially, you know, when you're starting from scratch. Like, you need to be unique. You need to have and give a reason for people to follow your page compared to someone else's. And if you're just posting general motivation mindset content, it's like people could find that elsewhere, you know what I mean? So that's what I want you guys to have to keep in mind. And also, you might see bigger pages who post more general content, and in that case, it's more acceptable because once you've already grown, once you've already established an audience, it's less important for you to be sub-niched because you're already big and you already have an audience. And no matter what you post, as long as it's good quality, you'll attract the right type of people, right? It's still important, but it's less important. But when you're starting from scratch and you're trying to grow from like 0 to your first 1,000, first 10,000, first 100,000, you need to have like a more unique angle. You need to have some sort of sub-niche. You need to be coming into the market with something that's not everyone else is doing, you know what I mean? So that's another suggestion as well. So his approach, his strategy should be more sub-niched. And then in terms of like the specific adjustments with the content, the same sort of feedback that I was telling before, right? This needs to be moved down lower. The captions need to be in the middle of the screen. The overlays need to match the words that are being said and not be random. Like, you know, some person spiking a volleyball, like it's so random. It's not good. And also he needs to get better with his editing. I know he's trying to, it's pretty fancy. It looks high quality if you look at it, but like it's very choppy. You know what I mean? He needs to get better, which he will with time. And then also I see this.
If you will change, everything will change for you.
So it looks like he's trying to experiment with some new content after not seeing like what he's doing work for him, but this is not the solution. The solution is not to just put subtitles over a quote with like a car driving. Like that's not the solution.
Is what's inside. To have more, you simply...
Like you'll never see a video like this go viral. Never, all right? So yeah, that is the main feedback that I have for this guy's page on how he can improve. So aside from that, let's head straight to the next review. All right, so now we've got the next page pulled up here on the screen. This one is called Zelior, or at least that's how I think you pronounce it. But yeah, without further ado, let's just dive straight into this one. So firstly, let's look at the profile. The username, this one is called Zelior. It's not a bad username by any means. I don't really understand how to pronounce it or what this means, but it's short, it's sweet, it's easy to remember. You know, it doesn't have any numbers, periods, or underscores as the other two that we've seen so far. So by those metrics, it's pretty decent, and it's pretty short too. So it's a good username. It's a good username. It's just I don't really understand how to pronounce it or what it means. And then also the logo. The logo's all right. It's not bad, but it could be optimized further. It could be improved. It's best if the logo is sort of like bold, minimalistic, and simplistic, just sort of like the ones that we've seen so far, like this, where there's like a little icon, this, where there's like a fire icon. Like these are bold, minimalistic, simplistic logos that are good. Whereas this one, it's a bit, you know, it's a bit complex. You know, there's lines going all over the place. It's not bold, you know what I mean? It's not like a bold icon, which is ideal to have on a logo. So it's not a bad logo, but it could be improved by those metrics, all right? And then also the SEO name looks fine, you know, 3 keywords like we were talking about earlier, but then the bio has the same sort of issue that we've seen so far where it's like very general, it's very vague, and it's not giving the viewer a clear reason as to why they should follow the page, or it's not emphasizing the clear value that they would get from following the page, right? So level up your mindset and hustle, daily inspiration, real growth, follow and start your journey today. Like it's very vague, it's very general. Like follow and start your journey today. It's like, what does that really mean? Well, start what journey, right? It's not tangible, you know what I mean? It's like, it's up for grabs. It's not clear. Daily inspiration, real growth, again, very general, very vague. It's not really giving the viewer a tangible reason or a tangible benefit as to how they would benefit from following the page. And then level up your mindset and hustle, like that's good. Like, you know, it tells the viewer that they're gonna level up their mindset, but again, it's just very general, it's very vague. It doesn't emphasize how this page is giving unique value and a unique benefit compared to other pages out there, right? So I would suggest him changing that as well. One more thing that I want to talk about with the bio is that these emojis on the side also aren't optimal. Like, you know, the rocket, the yellow color for the knuckles, like these are just sort of bright colors that pop out and make it look sort of unprofessional and a bit choppy or messy, in my opinion. If you wanted to have emojis, I would suggest that he had more like neutral looking emojis. So like black, white, maybe gray, or maybe even gold, considering like that's the color of his logo, just to make it look more professional, more well branded, and high quality. And also just looking at his page from the surface, it looks like not good. It looks very messy, very low quality. You want to make sure your brand looks professional and high quality. So for example, if we were to look at like this page here, this page is called Neuroglobe. It's in like the neuroscience niche. You could see if you click on the page, from the outside it looks just very professional, very well branded. There's consistency among the content and like what the cover looks like. Like you could see a very clear difference. Compared, and same with this one, this is one of my clients, Mate. His reel covers are very good. They're very high quality. It's very consistent and good. Whereas this here, not good. So this is an example of what not to do, and here's what you should do, okay? So that's just from the surface before even looking at the content. But now let's sort of just like look at the content.
So the 4 keys to success to change your life have always been the same. First, decide exactly what you want and where you want it.
So first off, just to point out my initial thoughts, the subtitles aren't optimal, right? You see how it's stacking up on 2 layers? It shouldn't do that. There should only be really 3 or 4 words per line. I could show you an example, like this guy again.
Thinkers, a quote that has helped me immeasurably.
You see how it's not double stacking, You see how it's only like between 1 to 4 words per line.
From a book called The Horse, the Boy, the Fox.
All right, so that's good. And same here.
My mentor, I have many mentors.
You see how there's like 4 words per line?
Is there any books that you...
Whereas here, it's like stacking up, and also this yellow text that pops out just doesn't look good.
To go. You wouldn't start off on a journey.
So yeah, that's something that I would suggest he changes. This is completely different to that last reel.
Is every person, as I said this morning, has
Same issue as last time.
Romans 8:18, the pain of what you're feeling is nothing compared.
Yeah, the captions aren't good. The subtitles aren't good. Yeah, and you see how the reel is sort of like low quality, the resolution is low. I'm not sure why that's the case in this one, but he needs to make sure that that's not the case. And also, yeah, these, the subtitles are really, really important. You see this one stacked up on 3 layers and it's like at the bottom of the screen. Like you can't have that. It needs to be in the middle of the screen and it needs to be like 3 words per line, specifically for this niche, right? Where it's like subtitles coming on the screen as someone's talking. There's an issue with this page that is similar to the last page that we covered, where it's like very general. There's no sub niche. This is very general sort of motivation, sort of mindset type content. So you've got Alex Hormozi, which is like a podcaster, business type guy. You've got Ronaldo, which is like, an athlete. You've got David Goggins, which is like discipline. You've got Trump, which is like politics and business. You've got Bezos, which is like entrepreneur. There's no really reoccurring theme or pattern here. There's no specific, let's say, viewer that he's trying to attract. It's just very, very general, which, as we talked about before, makes it tough to grow. And then also, there's no consistency among his content. He has different subtitles here. This is like a bouncy animation with only 1 word coming up on the screen. And then here he has different subtitles. Some have colors, now it's doubling up. And he has like this hook at top, and it's black and white. You see how it's just, there's so many elements that make it different, and there's no consistency, and it doesn't have that branded feel with the content compared to these other pages that we were looking at, Like you could see that there's consistency. Same with this guy, Mate. Whereas if we were to go and do the same thing here.
is every person
Romans 8:8.
what they did.
So here's the key to the law.
Like each reel sort of looks different. Like what is this? What is this? So just to summarize, the overall, let's say, approach, the overall strategy, not good because very general. There's no sub niche. It's not going over anything specific. And then also the specific elements of the content, like the subtitles, and some have hooks at top, some don't. Some are black and white, some aren't. Just the overall specific elements of the content aren't in check either. So that's how we can improve on the content, is by making those adjustments. And then also the overall profile, the username's good, the logo I would change, the SEO name is good, and then the bio I would also adjust as well. So that's just to summarize how we can improve, okay? So yeah, that's it for the 3rd viral feedback page. Now let's go over to the 4th page. All right, so now I've got this 4th page here on the screen, as you guys can see. This one's called Bold Mentalities, and let's get straight into it. So first off, really good username. I like it a lot. Bold Mentalities, short, sweet, to the point. It's original, like I was saying earlier. It doesn't have any numbers, underscores, or periods. And yeah, just great username. Same with the logo. Very good. Bold, simplistic, minimalistic. It's not doing too much. And it's like a little icon, right? So very good. Bold Mentalities, motivation, SEO name, that looks good as well. Let's look at the bio. This is where most people have had trouble. Discipline, mindset, motivation for those tired of starting over. Free resources to help level up. Join the newsletter below. Interesting. So discipline, mindset, motivation. I don't think he needs that. I think when people see bold mentalities, having mentalities in the name and also seeing motivation in the SEO name, they already have the impression that it's like sort of mindset, motivation, discipline type page. So this is just sort of fluff. It's not necessary. You know, he could use this line for, again, something that is actually more valuable to the audience and emphasizes the benefit that they would get from following the page. For those tired of starting over, again, like this is a little better because it's more specific compared to the other lines that we've reviewed so far, but it's still, I don't think it's ideal. I still don't think it's ideal. For those tired of starting over, it's more specific so someone could read that and actually feel like it's for them and they resonate with it, but it doesn't emphasize, again, the specific benefit or value that they'd be getting for the page, from the page. You know what I mean? So instead of saying for those tired of starting over, could say something along the lines of how they would actually benefit from the content itself, right? So it's like develop the mindset to make you unstoppable. You know what I mean? Rather than this. So it puts a more positive spin on it as well. And also I see that he has, free resources to level up, join the newsletter below. So it looks like he's already, promoting a newsletter, which is a valid way to monetize, but he's only got 1,000 followers here. So he's a bit smaller on the sort of growth end. I would suggest getting started with a newsletter when you're at like between 5 to 10K followers at least. That's sort of like a good range to get into it. Right now, he should just focus on growing. And instead of saying free resources to level up, join the newsletter below, he should have a CTA to follow the page instead, right? Because that's just going to benefit him a little bit more right now rather than the newsletter. And then, yeah, he doesn't have any highlight covers. They're just black, which is fine. It kind of just matches the aesthetic of the page. So now let's go over the actual content itself.
Themselves. They look at somebody, and because their mind can't imagine it, they then start talking.
Okay, so I don't know why the captions are here at the bottom of the screen. Not ideal at all. You want to have them in the middle of the screen, ideally right on the speaker's chin. That way the viewer can read the captions and read the lips at the same time. If the captions are down here, first off, it just looks weird. It doesn't look good. And two, now you're making the viewer choose between looking at the lips and also looking at the subtitles. So you can't look at both at the same time.
Talking shit, he has to be doing this, or he has to be doing that.
But the clip is fine, and the background music matches it, and the black and white sort of filter looks good with it, but I don't know why the captions or the subtitles are down here. And also, so this is good how he has his watermark here. We didn't see it on the other reel, but it's good here.
The guy who plays by the rules never believe in yourself.
Get rich or die.
Yeah, the format is off here. This is the 1:1 format. I don't know why it looks like that. He needs to do 1080 by 1920 because that's the optimized format for reels, and that's important in order to get into the algorithm and actually grow. So yeah, he needs to make sure his format is consistent so that they all sort of look like this, right? But aside from that, what I do like about this guy's content is that it's black and white and it sort of matches the vibe, and he's very good at picking background musics that match the vibe of like the reel. So that's good. And then the caption or the subtitles, they're not bad. Like I think this is a cool color and like a cool font. It's like unique, but one after another, like
all the critics in your life.
It doesn't perform very well. You want to have it sort of like this before, like we were talking about. Like this performs best, having 1 to 4 words per line. And then aside from that, guys, it's sort of the same issue, right? This is really general. He has some athletes in here, he has some weightlifters, he has some rappers, he's got some like podcasters, he's got some discipline guys, he's got some, artists, rappers again. So it's very general. It's very general. He's not narrowing down on one specific sub niche. If I was him, what I would do is go ahead. He's had 304 posts so far, right? So that's not good that he's only had 1,300 followers, right? There's something he's doing wrong, which we've gone over so far. If I was him, I would go through all of his content so far and see his highest performing videos. Maybe he's had some that hit 5K, maybe some 10K views, and see if there's any patterns among these specific reels that have gone well, right? Because he might go ahead and see that the ones that have performed best are the ones where it's like rappers speaking. Or he might find that the best performing content has been athletes like LeBron, or maybe it's podcasters like Alex Hormozi or Chris Williamson. Because right now this is just very general, This has been the case for a couple pages that we've reviewed so far, and I've emphasized as to why that's a problem, because there's, you know, he doesn't have a unique angle, right? He's not attracting a specific type of viewer, which makes it tougher to grow and it'll take longer. Whereas if you have a specific sub-niche, then your content is more specific, it's more unique, you're actually giving people reason to follow your page compared to someone else's, and it's just a lot more effective. So that's something that I would do if I was him. And I'd also just clean up the content, make it look more consistent, more structured, make sure that he's posting by the 1080-1920 format like this, make sure the captions are in the middle of the screen or the subtitles are in the middle of the screen. And aside from that, I think his clip choice is good, the background music is good, the little black and white filter is good, but he needs to adjust what we've just talked about here as well, all right? So that is it for the 4th review. Now let's go on to the last one, the 5th one. All right, so now we've got the last page here on the screen. Let's dive straight into it. So this one's called Rise Society. So as always, let's go over the profile and the branding first. So the username is pretty decent. Obviously there's a duplicate letter here, but it's not the end of the world. But ideally he should have only, you know, one eye, right? But aside from that, the logo is good as well. It's bold, simplistic, minimalistic, and he's got the R here and it transitions to like an up arrow, which aligns with the word rise. So I think it actually looks really, really good and complements the username quite well. So that's not an issue. And then the SEO name also looks good. Mindset, motivation, success. That's decent. No need to change that. And then in his bio, ordinary is a choice. Greatness is too. Choose to rise. That's pretty decent actually. I like the sort of concept behind it. Although he should have that in separate lines. He should have like ordinary is a choice, greatness is too, and then the next line can be choose to rise. He doesn't need to have Montreal here in the bio. It serves no purpose. It's just fluff. It's unnecessary. It's not going to give people a reason to follow you. And then follow for daily mindset hacks. It's good that he has a follow CTA, as we've talked about earlier, but again, daily mindset hacks is a bit general. It's a bit broad. It's not very specific. It's not tangible. It's not letting the viewers know like how specifically they're going to benefit from the content. So I'd make it more specific. Aside from that, the highlight covers can be improved as well. This one, I'm not really sure what's going on here. And also this one is just like it's white with some sort of icon here. I would just make them all like this, right? So this one, he has an icon that relates to the word achievements. So for who am I, he could just have an icon of maybe just like a human, you know what I mean? Like a stick figure. And feel weak, maybe he could have like a muscle sort of emoji or icon at the top the same way as this. So it looks more clean, more aesthetic, more professional, right? So that is the adjustments and the feedback for the profile. Now let's go over the content. And again, looking here on the surface, it's not looking good. Everything is looking very messy, very unprofessional, no consistency or branded feel. So let's get into it.
This is what's difficult about failure. The disappointment is on you. It is your...
Everybody has a turn back moment.
Aye, aye. So you guys can see it's the same problem. Like there's so many different content styles going on, so many different fonts, so many different people in different categories like John Cena, Steve Harvey, there's movie clips, there's animes, like David Goggins. There's way too much going on. Like guys, this is called a theme page, an Instagram theme page. You need to have a theme to your content. And your theme can't just be general motivation from all different, like there's so many different types of motivation out there. You know what I mean? There's all the stuff that we've gone over. There's like, let's just say actors motivation, like sports motivation, discipline motivation, anime motivation, movie clips motivation. You can't just combine them all into one like page and hope it does well. You know what I mean? It's way too general and there's way too much going on. You need to dial it down, make it more specific, right? He needs to make his page have some consistency, make it feel well branded, make things align with each other. The same way we've been looking at like this page before, you know? This actually has consistency. This guy has a clear sub-niche. He's not just posting about, for example, science or just anything about health. He's not just posting about health, right? So this is more specific. Things look high quality, it looks branded, things align, and you know, for example, here it's all over the place. You know, it's all over the place. Some reels have captions at the top, some don't, like these. Some are black and white, some aren't. Some have bright red captions, some are just black and white. All of them have different fonts. It's just all over the place, you know what I mean? I don't even know where to start when it comes to looking at this page. So this guy, You know, he needs to have a consistent content style. He needs to stick with it. He needs to have consistent, like for example, font that he sticks with, or specific brand colors that he's sticking with. Because as you can see, you see the whole rainbow. You see pink, yellow, red, blue, like yellow, red, yellow again, like then some of them are white. It's just all over the place. You know what I mean? So he needs to adjust that. He needs to adjust that. It's a shame because the branding, like I said, looks pretty decent. Rise Society, like the logo looks nice. I like the idea behind the page, but the content is just all over the place. So he needs to have a specific strategy in place, a specific content style that he's posting with, specific, you know, fonts and colors that he's staying consistent with, rather than just it being all over the place like that. All right. So yeah, that was a mess for the last review here, but that is pretty much it. So let's dive into the last part of the video here. All right, so I've just finished up giving the viral feedback to the 5 different Instagram theme pages. Considering that you've watched this video to the end here, I hope this has been valuable. I hope it's giving you more insight on what to do and what not to do in terms of growing and really going viral on Instagram. I know that it wasn't your page most likely that was reviewed today, but you know, I would assume a lot of the principles, the concepts, the feedback, the adjustments that I was suggesting for these other pages also applies to you. You know, that way you could take those principles and those concepts, apply them to your own page, into your own strategy, to your own profile, and so that you could see the results with it in terms of growth and going viral, right? Because that's really the whole point of this video, guys. So yeah, hopefully it was valuable. I'm glad you stayed to the end. And aside from that, if you guys are interested in learning directly from me one-on-one, I do have a one-on-one mentorship. It's called Growth Accelerator. It's where I help you start or scale your own Instagram theme page into a profitable business. And this isn't for everyone. This isn't for those who like are, you know, sort of half-assing it and they're doing this for fun and they just like, you know, it's a hobby. Like this is not for you if that's the case. This is for people who genuinely see the potential with this business. You know, they want to grow, they want to make money with it. And instead of like going out and doing their own trial and error and trying to figure out, you know, what works and just doing the guesswork, they want a mentor to sort of lay down the path for them, to sort of show them the ropes and let them know how they could see success with this business quicker, right? So if that's you, then feel free to check the link at the top of the description. There'll be some more information about that. You know, you could apply and we'll see if it's a good fit. But aside from that, guys, like I said, hopefully this video was valuable. Hopefully, you know, it answered your questions and gave you some more insight on how you could succeed in terms of growing and going viral with Instagram. And if you enjoyed it, feel free to leave a like on the video, and also feel free to subscribe because I post lots of valuable videos like this on a weekly basis. So yeah, aside from that, guys, hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.